Hi everyone, welcome to Mumsu Code video guide session. In the previous video, this was our focus that's completed. And now we're going to work on this. And the term that we're going to use is remove. So let's get to the coding. Starting with the user branch. And this is going to be my foundation of remove. Okay, we are starting with our interface, say sample, that's my return type, and then remove and input parameter is sample. So if we get to here, and then I'm going to increment the interface, and this is going to be my file. So let's get to the happy path field test. So right click, add class sample service dot test dot test dot logic dot cs. Okay, and this is going to be my partial plus, and then go statement public void should remove the test name, and will be on the remove function. So sample test is going to reside under the service of remove sample, and I can call it as input sample, right? This is my happy path test. So I don't want anything to be random in terms of the input parameter or some kind of a thing, right? So I'm going to start with sample, create random sample, and then I'm going to say this is going to be my input sample that is going to be random sample. Now this actually going to call a dependency. So what will the dependency do? Sample or deleted sample, anything I can call it as deleted equal input sample. So I'm going to say this dot storage dot. Whenever there is a call to you or delete by the input parameter this, return the deleted sample, right? Then comes our expected. So sample you can call it as deleted dot declone. And then to assertion, then verify if the storage broker is called once. Verify broker that is expected to be called in the storage broker is input sample. I don't want any other method to be called. Library. Then comes our dependency verifications of no other calls to be made. This dot logging broker. So far it's good. It should be a failing test saying nothing is implemented. So here we are with the code cleanup. This is our first fail comment. Awesome. Then what are we going to do? Make it pass. Make it turn. Simpler way is to just call back the entity, and that's the expectation. Since there are so many files, I have to actually look in depth of what the file that I'm interested in running. Okay, so here. Okay, so simple. We have completed our happy path test. Now coming to our validations. What do you think would be a more appropriate validation? Do we want to check for the input that you want to try to remove, or do you want to check something else? I am thinking that if I'm receiving an input, I don't want it to be null. I don't want to go make a delete call for data that is not even existing, right? A null data. So that's where I'm interested in. So what I wanted to do is right click, add a class, service test dot validations dot remove, right? And let me do the CS. Okay, with this I have my sample service. So this is going to be my null check, right? So I can pick it up from the other null check, validations dot remove. Should throw validation exception. Let me resolve it on remove if sample is null and log it, right? So our exception library, exception namespace. So this is going to be, and then method should also be matching. And apart from that, what I want is this has to be done once. The method that I'm expecting as per this workflow is delete. So right click and run the test. It's failed. I'm not able to get the check mark here to look at the error message just to ensure it's all there. So it says, hey, there's no exception being shown. Okay. Not to worry, I know what to do. So here we go with the failed test. What's the passing way we need to capture this into a try catch, right? So let's off. And so let me get this method inside this. And what I need to do is validate. Validate sample is not null. And this needs a return statement because we're saying the contractor is going to return back a sample record, right? So let's get to the validations.remove. Right click and run the test. Yeah, now I've got the bubble to check. Yeah, it is a pass. So let's get to here and then make a pass test. Okay, what are the other things that we want to validate? As we were talking before, I don't think there was something else that we want to validate. So the final set of tests that we will be writing is, yeah, you would have thought it right, is the exceptions test. So before that, let's just verify if we have any dependency. So here it does not throw any exception. So we are fine with it. What we want to call now is a exceptions file. So here we are, sample service test dot exceptions dot remove.cs, right? And that's the class that we want to name it out. Good. So now what are we going to write? We're going to write a service exception because we don't have any other exception that's being thrown for this call. So exceptions.remove. It's all the same old story here. So should throw service exception on remove if service error occurs and log it. So then we're going to prepare a random sample. We're going to prepare the exception that the actual dependency is going to throw, and we're going to localize it and then categorize it, and then say whenever there is the being called, throw the exception, and then the scope of test is remove, and this is going to be as you're following the standard, this is easy for you to understand once you follow a couple of CRUD operations, right? So remove sample, I'm gonna say my delete should be called once, and then I'm verifying rest of my dependency calls. So this should go for a pass because common try catch, right? So with that, let me run the code cleanup and then make a pass test. Okay. And that's it. We're calling for a wrap on the foundation remove sample. If at all you're looking at this video for the first time and you have not taken a look at any of the previous video, I highly recommend in going in order so that you really understand the foundation, right? Because for the first video, for the first time, we would have talked about what is public, what is partial, and what is fact, and what is void. But towards the end, as we are going and we are leaving or not refreshing all the minute concepts that we learned every single time, then it's going to pile up every single video, right? So we are focusing on what's new at this level of the video, but then not carrying the learnings that we have had in the past video. So thank you so much for watching. See you all in the next video.